Good morning and welcome to another edition of Facilities Talk with the Froelich Brothers. Today we have a special guest with us, Matt Yunker. He's with Oberlin College. He is the Director of Facilities Operations. And we're very excited to have you, Matt. Thanks for your time. I know that's something that's challenging to deal with. So thanks for your time. Thanks for coming on. How are you today?
Good. I appreciate it, Tommy. Looking forward. You don't always get people that are excited to talk facilities, so it's kind of nice to be able to share our stories and backgrounds and inform others of what's going on in the world of higher ed facilities.
100%, Matt. And that's what our goal is with our podcast. A sense of community. Sometimes we get so entrenched in our jobs and the challenges that we face in our jobs, we feel like we're the only ones, right?
It's
There's a
so
whole,
true, right? And
you
there's
know,
not always that outlet to just have these conversations, right? And know that other people are either sharing some of the similar pains or the triumphs that we have if we have some wins. So this is good. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Matt. Thank you. So let's get started. So, Matt, you're at Oberlin College. How long have you been at Oberlin, and how long have you been in the facilities field?
Yeah, so all things considered, relatively new. I've been at Oberlin College for 7 months. I started at the beginning of the year. Um, Prior to that, I was in K-12 education, director of operations for North Ridgeville City Schools. I had been there for 11 years, so quite a bit of overarching academic facility experience. This opportunity came up and thought it would be really good to check out what the higher ed world was like and try to not only bring my strengths to an institution like this, but also better myself as a facilities professional. You go from a K-12 world where we had 8 buildings on a campus to now at a higher ed world where there's over 60 buildings and residential housing and all sorts of different things. So it's been a wonderful 7 months, big learning curve, but really enjoying it.
For you, that's exciting. Yeah, you're right. I mean, just the nature of it, being at a college, a university, it just tends to have more demand, bigger, older, more challenging, you know, a lot of different things involved. And the fact that there's just more square feet, larger footprint. You can't just run down the hall anymore. Now you got to get on a golf cart. Hopefully you have a golf cart.
Yeah, yep. But you hit it right. I mean, so right, one of the first things I noticed here, a place like Oberlin, that's been around since the 1800s. The sandstone buildings and everything are beautiful on the exterior, and the campus is beautiful. But when you really start to dive deep into the inner workings of facilities and you're trying to merge obsolete equipment with more efficient equipment or legacy parts and pieces, that they just present daily challenges that fortunately we have a great team in place that keeps our faculty and students and staff able to learn in a first class environment. But, behind the scenes, when people don't see that stuff, there's a lot of challenges, trials, tribulations to keeping some of these older buildings running efficiently.
Yeah, Matt, would you say that's part of your job is to keep it behind the scenes?
Yeah, so at Oberlin College, the facilities umbrella is made up of 3 wings. We've got facility operations, right, which is my area. We've got facilities planning and construction, which focuses on large term renovations, new construction projects, things of that magnitude, and then our Office of Energy and Sustainability. And so we all 3 work together, but the primary focus of my area, facility operations, is that day to day, making sure the buildings are functional, trying to stay behind the scenes as much as possible while also communicating to the stakeholders what's going on, why is this happening, why is this potentially down for a little bit of time, but really trying to minimize that disruption on a day-to-day basis.
So all that being said, I kind of have a good feel for your answer with this next question, but what makes Oberlin unique from your seat that you're sitting in?
Well, there's a number of things, not even just from a facilities perspective. The college and conservatory itself, there is such a historical significance. It's been around for a long time. It's world renowned. You talk about Oberlin College, and if you look at where a bulk of our student enrollment comes from, we've got all over the country, internationally, a lot of international students. And so when you talk about the academics that are being taught, first class, all around, and then preserving that historical significance of the buildings is big. I mentioned it just a little bit ago about the beautiful sandstone that you see around campus, and just all of the things that have been here for hundreds of years. Um, and then trying to tie in, and we can get into it. We just got done with a huge, we called it the Sustainable Infrastructure Program, and it was installing geothermal cooling and heating around campus. But right, so you're doing something in 2025 that's trying to pair with buildings that were built hundreds of years ago. So you learn pretty quick on what works, what doesn't work, and get the best of the best to help make it all come together.
That's incredible. Yeah, I've been involved with some of those geothermal projects. They're quite involved. There's a lot of pieces and parts, specifically when you're dealing with your campus, 1800s type of construction that's existing. Now you're tearing into the infrastructure and you're tying in and you're, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do certain things in order for the system to be installed, but you also want to maintain the historical value.
Yeah, and so you just hit it, right? I mean, there are things. It's a learning experience for everybody, not just those performing the construction and us maintaining it, but even the stakeholders, the occupants. It's just to talk about the geothermal. It's different than your conventional steam, heat, and forced air. The the thermal comfort feels different in a geothermal setting, but part of that communication process is just informing, educating, and letting people know what's going on and whether it's running as it should, whether we need to recommission something because we need to make some tweaks. But that communication is essential, and we're fortunate here. Everyone has bought into the mission and really values what that project has brought to campus.
Yeah, you're right. I think the communication is key. The education that's involved with new, because new is great. It sounds great at least, right? But then the system's on, and people are like, "Well, this doesn't feel like what I'm used to, what I'm accustomed to," right? Or you upgrade lights, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's too bright," Or you're installing a new roof, and they're like, "What is that smell? We're all gonna die."
I laugh not because it's funny, but because those are things you hear on a daily basis in the world of
Yeah,
facilities, right? I mean, you're spot on with that, and
we have to
and so
evacuate school immediately.
yeah,
No, no.
and so just being able to provide that communication, provide the context behind why things are happening, right? And we're not just making things up and rambling, but here's the rationale behind it, and here's the end goal, and here's why we're doing it, and uh, by and large, everyone buys in and understands. It's just like we said at the onset, there's a whole nother world of facilities that I just think some people think, well, yeah, the buildings just run and they operate, and that's what it is. And there's so much more than that behind the scenes.
And it's kind of thankless. There's aspects to it that are thankless. But we know the fulfillment that we experience from these projects and from our day-to-day, you know, overcoming the challenges and hurdles. That's your sense of pride, right?
It's so true because you do have that fulfillment. I mean, we just so to give you some context of I'll call it an issue we just went through. We're performing transformer baseline testing around campus, and we had a transformer in our main campus library that failed. Well, anyone in the facilities world knows transformers aren't just sitting on a shelf somewhere and easily accessible. But we were able to work with our contractor and get it turned around where we were only down for a week and a half. And then when you get that notification that the switch got flipped and everything's back and running, you do have that sense of satisfaction and pride that you compiled a team together and you were able to achieve this mission critical project that was huge and got everything back up and running in a fairly timely fashion. So you're right. There is that sense of pride in what you do and knowing that the outcome is good for everybody.
Absolutely, Matt. And I think you touched on something that I find to be interesting from someone in your seat. How do you go about selecting that team? A lot of the team's already in place, right? It's Oberlin College faculty and staff. But what about when you need to reach out and you're looking at qualifying your vendors? How do you handle that opportunity?
Tommy, that's a great question, right? So we have an internal staff. You mentioned it. We've got um, in-house HVAC, electrical, plumbing, carpenters. We've got all those technicians on site. But the reality is, there's projects and scopes of work that you do need to bring in outside vendors and outside contractors. So how do you solicit them? There's a couple trains of thought from our end. There's obviously previous relationships with contractors that know the campus and that you feel comfortable that they're going to take care of you and make sure that the job gets done right. Um, for me, always looking at building new relationships. I think that the world is ever evolving with how we do things, and it would be short-sighted, not just of us, but anyone in the facilities world, to not take a deeper look at who's out there and who can bring what value to the projects that are going on. So we vet different contractors depending on the scope of the project, and while we have those folks that we have worked with regularly, um, we also have success stories of new vendors and contractors that have come on site and kind of given us that fresh look and fresh approach to how you can do things. And then obviously, right, there's the financial component. I mean, that's at the end of the day, while it doesn't come down to the bottom dollar, it's a large portion of what we're looking at. So that obviously plays a role in what direction we're going to go depending on the project.
Yeah. And when you're looking at making those decisions, Matt, how big is your team? Are you able to, autonomously go ahead and react and handle things accordingly, or do you have to report up and sit in board meetings and wait 2 months, or you know what I mean? How does that look?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on the scope of work, Tommy. Going back to that transformer issue that we had, that was a situation where, because the urgency was such that we needed to get the ball rolling and get that project running, we were able to run with it while keeping the appropriate people in the loop. Obviously, the people that it impacted, the uh, executive level leadership team here, and them trusting what we were doing to just run with this and get it done. When you look at maybe something a little more large scale, we've got a new student housing building that's going to be wrapped up here in the next few months. Well, that process obviously went through a lot more detail and involvement of approvals, who was involved in that decision making, where it went just beyond the facilities team. You have residential life folks that have to be at the table. You've obviously got other members of the campus community that need to be involved. So, Tommy, it kind of just depends on what the scope of the project is that dictates who all has to be involved with the decision making, or to what level we're informing people of what's taking place.
Sure, sure. And your experience lends to understanding when to bring them in, get get specific teams built in order to attack the opportunity at hand, right? Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on with that. I mean, not just myself, the team around us they're professionals. This is what they work in facilities. They know what's going on. If we've got a major plumbing issue, we're going to rely on our plumbing team to help talk through if we can't do this in house, what's the best approach for it, and how are we going to go about soliciting whoever it is that we bring in? Are we going to try and get quotes? Do we have a vendor that's got a history of dealing with that specific issue, and we're just going to call them and start the process of quoting it out? How are we going to do that? So yeah, it's relying on the people that we have here with the experience to help make that best decision for the college.
Matt, I know, with colleges, universities, K-12, any school really, in the grand scheme of things, safety drives. Safety is the driving force, health and wellness and safety. How do you manage that on a daily basis, Matt?
Yeah, so that there's it's interesting the different resources that are available in a higher ed setting versus a K-12 setting, and I don't mean that like K-12 had no resources available, but it's just by nature a smaller staff that you work with. So when you talk about safety in the K-12 world, that fell under my umbrella with operations, and whether it was the actual physical safety components of a building, or safety in terms of how your contractors or your internal people were doing the work and what was being done. Um, here at the higher ed world, we've got an environmental health and safety office dedicated to making sure, if we're doing paint removal, is it lead-based paint? Is it hot? Is there asbestos under the carpet tiles that we're pulling up? And so we've got an office dedicated just to that, which helps drive the decisions to not just keep our workers in a safe situation, but the students, the faculty, the staff, that we're doing things in a methodical way that is safe and the right way to go about it.
That's impressive. That's very impressive to have your own division like that. And I'm sure a lot of universities and colleges have that, but maybe not to the extent that Oberlin does, just due to the fact the type of materials that exist.
It's you run it right. We've talked about it throughout this entire conversation, the historical value, but what comes with that, the practices and procedures back in the late 1800s, early 1900s are a little bit different than 2025, and things were done a little differently. So we are fortunate that we have the people in place that can make sure we're doing things correctly, and then when these new projects take place, that they tie into what we're doing, and we're putting things in place that have long-term sustainability and keep people safe.
Absolutely. Matt, now, one thing I saw on the website that I thought was very impressive, especially with the historical aspects of this campus, carbon neutral. Is that achievement is set in the books? You guys are carbon neutral?
How about that, right? When I started
Right.
here, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, is this just a talking point, or is this really happening? And it really happened. And certainly a ton of work that preceded my time here. I mean, years and years and decades of getting to this point. But for me, fortunately, being able to come in as they were putting those final touches on that initiative and being able to say we've reached carbon neutrality was unbelievable, and it's something we're very proud of. When you look around campus at how we operate our buildings, the geothermal project was a huge part of that, obviously, but we've even taken steps to, you mentioned at the beginning, golf carts around campus. We have electric vehicles that we've transitioned to help mitigate some of those carbon offsets. But Tommy, that's taken the entire campus to buy in, not just the facilities team and executives saying, "Yep, we want to achieve this." The students bought in, the faculty bought in, everybody bought in, which you have to. When you set that type of goal, there has to be buy-in from everyone, and that's what happened. And yeah, we were able to officially say we are carbon neutral here at Oberlin College.
That is incredible. Congratulations, Matt. And
Thank
that's
you. Yeah.
exciting. My mind automatically kind of goes to, okay, what does it mean from where you sit on a technology level?
So, a lot of, and it's interesting, even just in the past 5 years, to see how much has changed from a technology perspective as it relates to facilities. When you look at building automation systems and what we have available at our hands now, where, a tech doesn't have to be called in because this alarm is going off. They have the ability to jump on a tablet and see this. And then when you tie that into the carbon neutrality and the systems that we put in place, and able to wean off of the natural gas, and we're relying on the earth, right? Natural heating and cooling from the earth, and the components from a technology perspective that allow us to manage that and do so from wherever, whether you're sitting at your computer here at Oberlin or whether you're at home, and you've got to jump on and make sure that our energy is doing what it's supposed to, or that these set points are meeting what they are. And if they're not, we have literally at the availability of a click of a mouse, right? We're letting someone know this, or we can change things. So it's a bit of a long-winded answer to your question, but the evolution of technology and how we operate our buildings, it's amazing.
It is, absolutely. Especially when you're pioneering something, and especially in your space, the university college space. I don't think there's too many in Ohio that are able to market carbon neutrality.
Yeah,
Is that
I
true?
agree. And I haven't done the studies to see that, but I know it's not something you hear about often. And with that has come advanced technology and how all these systems operate. It's also opened the door for different fields in the facilities world. I mean, you've got a lot more controls engineers or mechanical engineers, and I know that that type of position has always been integral in facilities. But when you start diving into the more technical aspect, they certainly become that much more imperative to what you're doing to make sure things are running the way they should.
Absolutely. And, that all comes back to an underlying theme we've had in this podcast is team. And team to me is strategy. So what is your strategic design for your team?
Yeah, it's it. You're exactly right. The team has to work together, and it has to be. I've said the term buy-in several times, but ultimately that's what it is because our HVAC team, when you look at this geothermal project, that's a monumental shift from what they were used to in operating a steam boiler system to now converting to uh, hot and chilled water to provide that. So that takes them working with our contractor to make sure we're all in unison. And that's a large scale project where teamwork was imperative. But even when you look at the day to day components, we've got projects right now that take coordination between electricians and plumbers because we're renovating a space or we're making upgrades to a space, and so they all have to be on the same page with what's going on um, to make sure the job can get done.
And it takes a lot of walkie-talkies to make that happen, doesn't it, Matt?
Yeah, you see this back here, and I got to turn it down because it's going, but it's it is yeah.
Behind you on your
Up
cable.
there, it's our the two-way radios are yes, the conversation is constant and flowing, but I will tell you it's because that's what has to happen to make sure everyone's in sync with what's taking place, when's it taking place, how's it getting done. And I've said it, and I'm not. It might sound cliche, but it really is a good team here that believes in that and takes that mission to heart.
Well, they're lucky to have you, Matt. You're a fantastic leader. I can tell that you're proud of what you do and everything that you're tasked to manage. You do it well. And so congratulations on that, Matt, and congrats to Oberlin for finding you and getting you in the right seat, sir. So Matt, I like to close with goals. What are your goals for 25, 26?
So in many education environments, whether it's K-12, higher ed, the fiscal year revolves around a July 1 to June 30th schedule. So your question times up well with what are our goals because we're right in the midst of finalizing those for the upcoming fiscal year. We just submitted budgets, and so that's a big part of it, right? You have to stay within kind of that overall dollar amount, and then you're breaking down line items and making sure that projects get done. So all that to say, Tommy, these conversations have been going on for months. It's not something you start 2 weeks ago, but you start the planning phases in December, January, and start to outline what those goals are. Some are short term in terms of making some lighting upgrades in certain areas of campus, while others are more long term. Water intrusion repairs and making sure that we have building footprints that are safe, warm, and dry, that are efficient, continuing with our carbon neutrality and that mission, making sure that all of our buildings are run as efficient as possible. We're being as energy efficient as possible. So it's kind of a broad stroke there, Tommy, but we've got a plethora of goals that range from those short term to some of the longer term ones that aren't going to get done in this fiscal year, but that you build out 1, 3, 5 years down the road, and getting that team to buy into what we're doing. And that kick July is next week, so we get the ball rolling with the new fiscal year and start chipping away at those goals.
Fantastic, Matt. Yeah, anyone you want to plug real quick? Give a shout out to a team member that's been a difference maker.
I'll tell you, and I appreciate you talking to me, but I value servant leadership. But we can't, for me as a leader, you can't do what we do without having the right people in place. So we've got a team of facilities managers, a team of over 60 tradespeople that they're the ones that are boots on the ground doing the work, getting it all done. At the leadership level, yeah, it's great to be able to kind of help manage that, but they're the ones doing all the work, and they deserve all the credit to making sure that Oberlin College is what it is. So I've said that to everyone I've talked to. You can't do this without the people behind the scenes doing the work, and I'll continue to shout that from the mountaintops that you got to have a good team in place. We have it here, and certainly very thankful for that.
That's fantastic, Matt. I'm happy to have you. This was a very fun, informative, and enlightening podcast episode. So, thank you, Matt, and thanks for making sure that we're spreading the word on facilities. And that was another great episode of Facilities Talk with the Froelich Brothers. Subscribe, like, follow, do all those great things so we can continue to spread the word, Matt. And all the best, man. Take care and be safe, my friend.
Tommy, I appreciate it. Thanks for everything you're doing to help strengthen the word about facilities and everything we do. Thank you.
It's our pleasure.